Hello guys, this is 12th Harbinger and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will give you useful tips and guide to clear the new 4.6 Spiral Abyss 12. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Do note that, if you have trouble clearing a chamber, you can always change teams, although you will have to start from chamber 1. You won't have to worry about finishing the chambers on time that you have already completed. For 12-1 first half, we have 3 Magu Kenkis. The Cryo one usually dashes away if you stay near the group. So in order to group them together, dash towards the left and go far away from them. When you see the Cryo one starts walking, immediately dash back towards them. This will prevent the Cryo Kenki from dashing and group them, making it easier to hit all of them together with an AoE DPS like Xiangling and clear this chamber quickly. It is recommended to kill the Cryo one first, as it keeps summoning this annoying Cryo field which deals damage over time, and also applies Cryo on you, which slows you down. After that, go for the Anemo and then the normal Kenki. Since there are 3 enemies here, I recommend using an AoE DPS here like Xiangling, Beidou, Neuvillette. Arlecchino is also amazing here as she can hit all of them with her big scythe and deal big damage once they are grouped. There are many other great DPS that can be used like Hu Tao, Ido, etc. Just make sure they are built correctly. Moving on to 12-1 second half. Here during the first wave we have 2 Kairagis. They are situated at the center and already close to each other, so no grouping is required. Although they keep dashing away and you need to defeat both of them together or the other one will heal himself. So I recommend you to follow the one with higher HP. If possible, try to keep them near the center so that you can stay prepared for the next wave. There are 2 Foddery shooters and 1 Mirror Maiden at the middle. The Foddery shooters are quite squishy and can be killed easily, but the positioning here can be tricky as the shooters keep going backward, away from you. So you can use that to group them together if you don't have a crowd control unit. Don't stay between them as they will go in opposite directions. The Mirror Maiden keeps teleporting, so I recommend you to defeat the shooters first, then go for the Maiden. After clearing this wave, the next enemies are the 2 Foddery operatives, just like the first chamber of last Abyss cycle. If you have good grouping against these 2 enemies, for example if you have Kazuha and keep spamming your crowd control skill every 9 seconds, you wouldn't have any trouble grouping and clearing them easily. Sucrose can also help with grouping, although not as good as Kazuha, but is usually enough to clear this chamber. These 2 enemies keep moving a lot, and I don't think you need to understand what they do, or where they teleport. You can just focus on dealing damage and dodging their hits or out healing their damage. As for whom to focus first, go to the Anemo one that spawns on your right rather than the Cryo one. This is because the Cryo one keeps moving more, making it difficult to chase her, and she often uses a dash skill that will let her thrust forward in your direction. This way, you can group both of them at the same spot. The Anemo Fotui also has a teleport skill, but she doesn't use it much often. So in short, you can use Kazuha and Sucrose to keep them grouped together and burst them down with your AoE DPS. If you are using single target DPS like Yoimiya, Ningguang, or Scaramouche here, you can just take benefit of their auto aim. It can be a huge help as these enemies move a lot. For 12-2 first half, there's the Capelia boss again. However, this time we have to defeat the male one. The male one periodically summons a cryo shield around him. You can manually melt this shield with pyro. Other elements like Electro, Geo, and Emo can also chip away the shield, but it's very slow. The fastest way to take away the shield is by hitting the boss with an Auja attack. Just one Auja hit will take away his shield. Additionally, hitting the boss with Auja attack 3 times after he gets his shield will stun the boss. Single target DPS characters are great here. AoE DPS like Xiangling also work as long as they can deal high enough damage. Moving on to the second half, in the first wave we have 3 Foddery Pyro agents. These agents go invisible. You can stagger them with heavy hits or overload reactions. Skills that can auto-aim like Fischl's Oz are also great. You can just use an AoE DPS to just hit everything around you. For the next wave, we have 2 Eremite summoners. Here I suggest you to stay near the Anemo female Eremite, as the Geo one being a melee type will come towards you, and this will bring them close. Defeat their summons first as it deals extremely high damage to the Eremites and stuns them. For the next wave, we have 2 Electro Heralds. You can easily group them with crowd control or use charge attacks with sword characters to push them and bring them together. Or you can go to the left or the right side of the arena far away from the enemies. This is another way of grouping them. The heralds will generate an electro shield around them when they are about to die. You need to break this shield in order to defeat them. Dendro, Pyro, and Cryo are the best elements to break this shield, so it is recommended to use characters that can comfortably apply the elements like Catalyst users, Arlecchino, Bennett, etc. Geo or Nemo also work, but they need more time. For 12-3 first half, there's not much positioning needed here. In the first wave, there's 2 Cryo Foundry gunners. If you stay in between, then these 2 gunners will move away from each other, so go to either left or right side of the enemies to keep them close. You can just defeat them before they get their Cryo shield, or you can bring a Pyro character to melt their shields. The rest of the chamber is just DPS check, and any positioning or techniques are not needed here as the enemies are already grouped together. Just try to position yourself for the next wave. The first 3 waves spawn near the center, and the last wave is towards the north. In the second half of the last chamber, we have the Iniquitous Baptist. This boss will get Pyro, Cryo, and Electro shields in the same order. Breaking each shield will stun the boss briefly, and breaking all 3 of them will stun it for a longer period of time. The shield will disappear after around 40 seconds. After all its shields are cleared, the boss will start charging crystals depending on the number of shields you failed to break. If you failed to break the Electro shield, the boss will start charging an Electro crystal. If you fail to break all 3, it will charge all 3 crystals. Breaking the crystals will stun the boss. If you manage to break all its shield on time, it will immediately stun the boss after you break the last Electro shield. After the boss is stunned, it is just a punching bag, and try to defeat it during this time. Once the boss gets up again, it will start the same cycle. The Pyro element is great here as it can be used to break 2 shields, Cryo and Electro. For the Pyro shield, Hydro is the best element. Electro can also be used for breaking the Cryo and Pyro shields. Dendro is amazing for the Electro one. Geo or Nemo can also be used, but it can be a bit slower. Vaporized teams are great here as it contains both Pyro and Hydro characters that are best for breaking the shields. Here are some team recommendations. AoE DPS characters have high usage in this Abyss cycle, as both the halves of the first chamber, second half of the second chamber, and the first half of the second chamber all have multiple enemies. Single target DPS characters are also great as there are many boss enemies here, and you can take benefit of some auto-aim characters to defeat enemies that move a lot. Xiangling, Beidou, Neuvillette, Arlecchino, Navia, Raiden, Alhaitham, Hutao, Liney, Risley, Ketching, Artakieto, Xiao, etc. are some great DPS. Arlecchino's hitbox is quite large, and since the enemies in this Abyss cycle are already quite close to each other, all of them can get hit easily by Arlecchino's attacks. Similarly, you can position yourself correctly and use Hutao's charge attacks to hit multiple enemies at once. Yanmia, Ningguang, Wanderer are some DPS that have auto-aim, which can be helpful. Even without a DPS, you can use sub-DPS characters to make strong quick-swap teams with characters like Nahida, Fischl, Yae Miko, Furina, Beidou, Shori, Albedo, etc. For example, Dendro Traveler, Fischl, Yae Miko, Yao Yao. If you have trouble creating teams, you can comment down your characters and I will try my best to help you make teams. Let me know in the comments how many stars did you manage to get in this Abyss cycle. And that's all for this video. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe for more Genshin Impact content. Thanks for watching.